Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. Woke up this morning. Hey, woke up this morning 3:40 a.m. after a amazing night. Really had an amazing night. Had an incredible night. My wife and I have had. This is weird. My wife and I have had two dates, if you can believe it, in the last like 4 days or something like that. Uh, Crazy. Like just me and her, no kids. That is super, super, super rare in the Lundy house. But I got to have dinner last night with Andy Jones and a um, bunch of my peeps, bro. That's the best way to describe it. I probably should have uploaded a picture. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you guys need to see that. Oh man, we're gonna have to make that happen. So maybe I'll do that during the intro. Um, but I got to have dinner with my wife, which with no kids, which is rare, and then a bunch of our automotive friends that are in town because today and tomorrow we have an incredible workshop that I am excited about. We got a bunch of people coming here into our offices here in just a couple hours. And so we had dinner last night with some of them, which was super, super fun. We had dinner at a place called Tony's, which, dude, the food, unbelievable. The service, crazy. I mean, it takes a long time. Dinner started at 7 and finished at 10. So it was 3 hours. But man, the steak, the mac and cheese, the sweet potatoes, like it was an amazing experience, right? An amazing experience. And we got home close to 11 last night, 10:30, somewhere right in there. Went to bed at 11, woke up 3:40 a.m., woke up, grabbed my headphones, put them on, listened to music with no words, grabbed my big old purple cup of ice water, made my way downstairs, grabbed my Morning 5 planner, which is this big bad boy. You need one of these if you don't have one. And in the top right-hand corner of every page in the planner, which this is my prop planner, not the one I actually write in, but in the top right-hand corner of every page, there's a quote submitted by actual member of our community. It's one of my favorite parts of the planner. And the quote says this today. It says, the opportunity of a lifetime has to be realized in the lifetime of the opportunity. Now, this is a quote that was submitted by Mr. Rodney Rock Hatfield, longtime member, longtime hashtag Rise and Grind watcher, just a big time part of our family. The opportunity of a lifetime has to be realized in the lifetime of the opportunity. And so I thought about that this morning after coming off that dinner, right? That dinner was a really special experience that we got to share with some really special people. And the opportunity to go to that dinner, to not go to that dinner was on the table. There were people that were invited that dinner that chose not to go. And then there are people that were invited to that dinner that chose to go. Even some of them didn't really know anybody there. And it just reminds me that there are so many opportunities right in front of us every single day, but they're not really opportunities if you don't capitalize on them in the now, right? Like good examples of this are AI. The AI movement that you and I have been talking about here on this show for about 3 years is going to generate more millionaires and billionaires over the next 10 to 15 years than any other technology, any other career path, any other anything that has come out in a long time. But it won't always be that way. At some point in the future, AI will reach its singularity level and very few people will be able to maximize on the opportunity that is AI. It'll be a small percentage of the population. We saw this before with the internet, right? When the internet came out, those that jumped on it in the very beginning, jumped on the internet, the Googles of the world, and so on and so forth. The social media platforms, social media channels, even the early, like Mr. Beast, the greatest, most subscribed to creator on YouTube. It's because he got in at the very beginning. He got in before everybody else, right? You got to maximize the opportunity. And so when I read that quote this morning, I thought about the AI, I thought about the internet, and then I also thought about just us as humans, man. You get one shot at this thing. One shot at this crazy thing called life. And I don't know what you're being called to right now, led to right now. I don't know what opportunity you have in front of you right now, but I just want to challenge you, it has to be realized in the lifetime of the opportunity. And like it or not, that opportunity that you have in front of you right now in this crazy thing called life, whether you're 80 years old, 90 years old, 60 years old, 40 years old, 20 years old, the opportunity that you have in front of you has an expiration date. So make sure you take advantage of it before it expires.
Good morning and welcome to the #1 morning show in America. I am your host, Glenn Lundy, husband to 1, father to 9, author, speaker, and the founder of 800%.life. It's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Hey, do me a favor. Facebook's doing that thing that it does sometimes. So I need you to tag your friends, hit the share button. If there's somebody that you know should be here, just go ahead and tag them right now. People are having a hard time finding the show. Ramon always says the easiest thing is to go to my page, and when you see I'm live up there in like the story thing, click on that. And I know what he's talking about. I had to do that yesterday. Yesterday, I kept going to my own personal Facebook feed, and it did not show that I was live. But up there in the corner, in that little silhouette, there was something lit up showing that I was live, like in the story or something like that. And so make sure to click that. But Facebook's doing its thing this morning. So do me a favor, tag your friends right now. Just type in their names. If you've ever seen them in here before, if you know they should be in here, do them a favor this morning and help them find today's feed. Now, while we were on that quick little intro, I was able to add these beautiful pictures. So this is dinner last night at a place called Tony's. And there was a bunch of us at the table. It was absolutely amazing. And as you can see right there in the front to the left is my beautiful wife, Miss Leslie Lundy. And she doesn't get out much. It's a rare sighting to see her out in the wild. But her and I had a blast. And we've actually had 2 dates in the last 4 days. We got to go out to dinner twice with no kids, which is amazing. For some of you, you're like, yeah, that's a regular thing. For us, that is a rare treat. We have to maximize the opportunity when we have it. So we had an opportunity to be kid-free last night, and we took it, even though we just had a day a couple of days ago. So awesome dinner, awesome morning, and an awesome series. So today is Tuesday. That's right. Today is Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. So I want to make sure that we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible day. I'm coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky. We're in the middle of a hot week, and it's also hot here in my offices because we are getting ready to launch our 149-point inspection checklist workshop. Now, this is 2 days where we do a deep dive into all the different components required to grow a business 800%. So we've got people that have come in from Canada and from Colorado and from Utah and from Kansas and from Ohio and from Indiana and from Florida and from Chicago and from all over the United States and Canada. We've got people that are here that are going to be in office with me over the next 2 days, and I'm super, super, super excited about it. Now, yesterday, if you were here, we kicked off a new series on this show called Discipline is Destiny. And this series will go through Thursday morning. So we've got 3 more parts. And in this series, this is a book that we're reading together as a group. So if you didn't get the memo, grab yourself a copy of Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. It's a really, really, really incredible book. And this being the year of the horse, right? We are running this year. We are catching our stride this year. We are maximizing our opportunities this year. And so this book, in line with being the year of the horse, is really our roadmap to fulfilling our ultimate destiny. And if you remember yesterday, we talked about how history rarely changes in one dramatic moment. It changes when one person chooses character over comfort. And that, my friends, is the definition, to me, of discipline. Choosing character over comfort. Now, yesterday, we also talked a little bit about this crazy guy named George Washington, who, after the war was over, against all odds, after the colonies had won, George Washington, who is now the hero of the new nation of the United States of America, loved and adored by all. He's got all the power. He commands really the only army in the country. And there's people telling him, yo, you should become the king. You should become the king. Even though we just fought a Revolutionary War to get away from having a king, George, you should be the king. Because they loved him, they adored him, and they were locked in on this hierarchy system that this is how it had to be. And so many people that they just believed that the safest path was to put a crown on George Washington's head. And he could have done it, folks. He could have done it. I want you to think. I want you to put yourself in those shoes. Imagine they come to you. They're like, hey, yo, you just put up a big battle. You just put up a big fight. We need leadership. We need you, bro. We need you. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a crown on your head. We're going to make you the king. We're going to make you the king of all. You control everything. You can have all of the money, all of the riches, all of the wealth, all of the power, all of the influence, all of the recognition, all of the adoration. You can have it all. We'll put the crown on your head. We'll do it right now. It was within his reach. And George Washington did something after this war that is almost unheard of to this day. That is, he gave up power. He resigned. He went home. Just a farmer returning to his field. See, George Washington left because he believed that his country needed principles more than it needed him. George Washington left because history rarely changes in one dramatic moment. It changes when one person chooses character over comfort. In that moment, he made that choice. So listen, we're going to continue this series, Discipline is Destiny. Before we do, though, you know what we got to do on this show? That's right. Bringing back the old school hashtag rise and grind. Tony with the keys. Those of you that have been around here for a while, you know this song. And you also know that this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button because I believe
If we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you, yes, you, to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching this show live or you're watching this show on replay, you say what's up, and I'll say what's up back. Meanwhile, we're going to be dancing our way into this Taco Tuesday. Does that sound good, Sarah? We're going to dance our way into Taco Tuesday. Sarah Taco Ball is in the building. We know she's having some tacos on Taco Tuesday. But while we're doing that dancing, wherever you are, whatever you got going on, object in motion stays in motion. Let's get rolling. Tosh Queen, good morning. Thank you for being here. Tony Thorstad, thanks for being here this morning. Bella Rigby is in the building. Robert Migliaccio, thanks for watching. Kathy Camacho, thanks for watching. Heather Parody, thanks for watching. My mom, thanks for watching. Gene Hughes is in the building. Mike Larkin is in the building. Kurt McFarland is in the building. What's up, Kurt? I'll see you in a little bit right here in my offices. Luis Grafton Nonis is in the building. Sarah says it's definitely going down tonight. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Ramona is in the building. Dwayne Moser. What's up, Dwayne? Thanks for being here. Liza Myers Borges is in the building. Looks like she's out on a run this morning, and so many more. Thank you guys so much for joining me. For those of you that are listening on the podcast, I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much for downloading and listening on the podcast. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, just know I see you and I appreciate you. Make sure that you drop a comment so that I know for sure that you stopped by. Julio Soto, good morning to you as well. Thank you guys all for being here. Robin Wilshans, you're the best. All right, we're going to continue this series, Discipline is Destiny. We're going to finish up this conversation around George Washington, and I think you're going to enjoy what's next.
Self-discipline, the virtue of temperance, is the ability to keep your ass in line. The ability to work hard, to say no, to practice good habits and set boundaries, to train and to prepare, to ignore temptations and provocations, to keep your emotions in check, to endure painful difficulties. Self-discipline is giving you everything you have and knowing what to hold back. Is there some contradiction in this? No, only balance. Some things we resist, some things we pursue. In all things we proceed with moderation, intentionally, reasonably, without being consumed or carried away. Temperance is not deprivation, but command of oneself physically, mentally, spiritually, demanding the best for oneself and of oneself, even when no one is looking, even when allowed less. It takes courage to live this way, not just because it's hard, but because it sets you apart. Discipline, then, is both predictive and deterministic. It makes it more likely you'll be successful and ensures success or failure that whatever happens, you are great. The converse is also true. A lack of discipline puts you in danger. It also colors who and what you are.
So listen, this guy, George Washington, I don't believe that history remembers George Washington because he could lead an army. I believe that history remembers George Washington because he could lead himself. Way harder. Way harder. Just so you know, way harder. I know plenty of people that have no problem telling other people what to do. No problem whatsoever. I know plenty of people that are just naturally, like they're naturally leaders and people want to follow them. I know so many people like that. But if I'm honest, what is much more rare, I know people, like there's people in this room that fall into this category, but what's much more rare is people that can lead themselves, especially when they don't have to. my organization runs and operates in a very unique way. We don't have schedules. I don't tell anybody when they have to be at work or when they have to come in, when they can leave, da, 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 da. I don't tell anybody all of that. We just have two standards here. Standard number one is that we always act in the best interest of the company. And standard number two is that adequate performers will be graciously asked to take their talents elsewhere. So we just have two standards. Getting people to fall in line with those two standards is ridiculously hard. I can't tell you how many people we have hired and then ultimately fired because they cannot lead themselves. Like they cannot function without me telling them what time they have to show up and what time they have to go home. Just something as simple as you need to show up with enough time to get your job done is like most people can't handle it, bro. It's crazy. So I don't think we remember George because of what he did Army-wise. I think it's because he had the ability to lead himself. I really do. I think that's what makes him stand out, and it's so rare. Because, see, you have to understand, discipline is not just waking up early, right? Like I woke up at 3:40 a.m. this morning. Discipline is not just that. It's not just meal prepping and eating the right foods diet-wise, right? It's not even, discipline is not even like just going to the gym. Like those things matter, but real discipline is having the strength to say no when the whole world is saying yes. See, the whole world was telling George he should become the king, that he could have all the power and all the money and all the influence and all the recognition and all the accolades. The world was like, you should do it, you should do it, you should do it. The whole world was like, bro, come on. And he's like, nope. You see, discipline is the ability to walk away even when your ego is telling you to stay. Discipline is the ability to choose purpose, your purpose, over applause. I have a dear friend who is stepping into her purpose. She's choosing her purpose. Not choosing, she's choosing to walk in her purpose. And as she chooses to walk in her purpose, it conflicts with a lot of things that her friends and her family members align with. So it's not popular. She's not getting praise and applause for choosing to walk in her purpose. But that's what discipline is. It's the discipline to choose purpose over applause. Like I know another historical figure that chose purpose over applause, and that guy became the most impactful human being to ever walk the planet, and is still talked about and still making an impact to over 2,000 years later. See, discipline is choosing principles over popularity. Discipline is choosing your legacy over power. I want you to think about right now. I was listening to a podcast, Diary of the CEO. I was listening, and he was having a conversation with an AI guy, which they have these conversations often. And they were just talking about the power that Anthropic, who made Claude, and OpenAI, you got Sam Altman from OpenAI, you've got Elon Musk, who's now a trillionaire. You've got political figures like Donald Trump that have billions of dollars and notoriety and influence and so on and so forth. I want you to just imagine those names I just said. Like, think Zuckerberg, Altman, Elon, Trump. Think about those names right there. Could you ever see a single one of them giving up their power? Like, just choosing their legacy, choosing what's best for human beings, for humanity, versus what's best for them. Could you see them doing that? Like, it's a crazy thing, dude. To choose legacy over power, rare. And here's where some of this kind of really hits home for me as I've been reading this book, Discipline is Destiny. As I've been reading this book and thinking through it, it made me realize, like, most of us will never be in that position. We won't be in that Elon position. We won't be in that Zuckerberg position. We won't be in that Trump position. Most of us will not be offered a crown, right? Like, you're probably not going to be offered to be the king of all of the land. That's probably not going to happen. Maybe. I mean, I guess it could, but it's probably not going to happen, right? So most of us will never be offered a crown, but every single one of us will be offered the opportunity to compromise ourselves. Every single one of us will be offered the opportunity to cheat, to cut a corner, to exaggerate the truth, to take credit for something we didn't do, to chase recognition instead of impact. Every one of us will be given the opportunity to let our ego make a decision that ultimately our character should be making. And those, my friends, they're not the crowns that we wear on our head and everybody can see that are all ornate with jewels and whatever, but they are crowns. And every single day we decide whether or not we're going to put those crowns on our head. There's a quote, and I cannot remember who said it, but there's a quote that I come back to often. It pops up in my brain all the time. And it said, your character is revealed by what you do when no one can make you do the right thing. Your character is revealed by what you do when no one can make you do the right thing. Your character is revealed by your choice to take care of your health when no one else can make you do it. Your character in my company is revealed by your work ethic and how you choose to show up for this company when no one can make you do the right thing, because we don't require anyone to be anywhere at any given time. You see, your boy, George Washington, he had every external reason to hold on to power. But what guided him was not external pressure. It was internal restraint. And see, that internal restraint, that's the kind of discipline that doesn't just shape a moment. It absolutely shapes generations. To this day, America's peaceful transfer of power became a defining tradition because one leader chose to let go when he didn't have to. One disciplined decision echoed far beyond his lifetime. So listen, I have a buddy who just lost his job yesterday. He just lost his job yesterday, and for the last couple months, I've been trying to tell him that this is coming. I love this kid so much, and I'm cheering for him. I know this is a big part of his journey. But one of the crowns that he was wearing that I kept like telling him he needed to take off is he kept wearing the crown where he needed to be right.
He kept wearing the crown where he needed to win every single argument. He kept wearing this crown where he needed to prove himself to everybody else. He kept wearing this crown where he needed to be in control of everything, right? He kept wearing this crown where he was throwing his title around. He kept wearing this crown where he wanted recognition. He wanted a pat on the back. And you know what he got? He got a pat on the back as they pushed him out the door yesterday. Now, what if, for me and for you, what if the greatest act of discipline that you and I could do, it's not about, what if the greatest act of discipline would not be about me and you doing something new? What if the greatest act of discipline is releasing something that you've already been doing? You see, this week as we study Discipline is Destiny, we're gonna study some more of the most extraordinary women and men who have ever lived, not because they were perfect, not because they were famous, but because they mastered something before they ever mastered anything else, and that is they mastered themselves. Because here's the truth, dude. Your talent, your gifts, whatever, they may open the door. Opportunity may give you a chance, but discipline is going to determine what happens next. And over time, discipline shapes your destiny. You see, you got to understand, my friends, you and I are children of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God made you and I to be the absolute best versions of ourselves that we could possibly be. Not average versions, not a little bit above average, not even a little bit below, but the absolute best. And if you just study the Creator, if you just read the historic text, if you just study the patterns, what you'll see is that time and time again, it's the discipline of eternity that we are called to lean towards versus succumbing to the desires of the flesh. The question we asked yesterday is, why do some people just stand out as extraordinary and their names go on for eons and eons, while others tend to just, millions and billions of others, the names just disappear, never to be called out again? And I think it's very, very, very clear the difference is the ones that are lasting, the legacies that last, are the ones that have discipline over themselves. It's not about power over others. So we're going to continue to talk through that this week here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that share button. Make sure you tag your friends. And I'll be back tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do it all over again right here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Have an amazing day. Thanks for the quote this morning, Rodney.